in the form of the blessings, and you will have some extra additional mercy and extra additional skills for all of you, which will help you in your life, because this is not something which is new. This is not something which is happening for first time, and maybe the speakers may change, but the knowledge which is coming through ages, because this is age-old wisdom from our scriptures. And there are many people in the past who have benefited from this, and we hope that in future, again, with the help of all those who are understanding it and have a view of transferring the knowledge further, this knowledge can go more into the ears of so many other souls who are actually looking forward to bring out that positive transformation inside their hearts. So we have gone through the basic knowledge of soul. We have gone through how it's important to have the knowledge coming from the right source, and how it's important to be connected to Parampara. And now today we are going to a journey towards a happy planet. Okay, now this happy planet looks very amazing kind of term, because as soon as you hear a happy planet where every moment is a festival, now this thing looks very astonishing to us, because we have never come across this in this world. Of course, we go for tourism, we go out to get relaxed, we go out for different holidays and vacations, but this all very short term. So is there a real planet which is full of happiness and there is no sorrow, no misery at all? So that is what we are going to look today. And I'll just give you a real story. I'm pretty sure you would have heard a song by, there is a Bollywood song, Aaj Chal Ke Tujhe Main Dikhlau Ek Aise Gagan Ke Tale, Jahan gam bhi na ho, aasu bhi na ho, bas pyar hi pyar. There is a song like that. I'm pretty sure you would have heard of it. So there was one person who was actually very, I would say, was very depressed. So much so that he was about to commit suicide. So he was planning to do that. And while doing that, or when he was actually just conceiving to do something like that, he came across this song. Maybe in his neighborhood, somebody had played this song. And as soon as he played this song and he heard, and he said, oh, really? Is there a place like this? Ek aise gagan ke tale jahan gam bhi na ho, aasu bhi na ho, bas pyar hi pyar pale. So it's only love, there is no sorrow, there is no misery. Is there really a place like that? And he got a query. He said, really, if there is a place, I would really like to go there, because here is only misery and I'm not able to tolerate it anymore, and that's why I'm trying to live my life. So if there is a place, I would really like to go and see that place. So he tried to go, and then he went to the movie and he saw who wrote this song, and he went to that author or the writer of that song, and he asked, sir, you have written that song I heard in that movie, but can you please tell me where exactly is that place, because I want to go. And as soon as that author heard, he was quite amazed and also laughing. And he said, sir, in movies, we just write songs, but these things are not real. So I don't know where that place or even such place exists or not. So when he heard that, he became even more depressed, and he came out of that place. And when he was coming out of that place, he saw some, devotees of the Lord, and they were very happy, and they were dancing on the road on the kirtan. So when he saw that they're dancing on that kirtan and they look very happy, he was like, how can somebody be so happy? Let me just check with them. And somebody dancing on the road, because like you see, where every moment is a festival. Generally, we have that dancing when there is a festivity. But here you saw the people are dancing on the road. What kind of festivity it is? So he went and asked, is there a place? I came here, I asked them because I was trying to commit suicide. But I heard this song, I came to ask them, is there a place like that? And they said no. And I became even more depressed. And now, but when I'm seeing you and I see this happiness on your face, I want to know, is there really a place like that? And that person told, yes, there is a place like that. Come with me. So he took that person with him. And as soon as they came to temple, he gave them nice prasadam, he gave them some accommodation to stay, he took them for arti, they all danced in the kirtan. He stayed for 2-3 days and he actually got very transformed because he found such a place where there is no, of course, there's some misery here and there, but it was a very big change because outside he found that everybody is very selfish and there is no help, not much of support from others. And here he saw a kind of spiritual environment where people are getting up early, they're trying to serve others, they're trying to make others' life good, they're genuinely trying to help somebody. So when he saw that environment, he was very happy. And then he actually, because it transformed his life, he actually made it a point that what he got from them, he want to propagate and give it to others. So he dedicated his life to spread this message, what helped him. So that's a true story which has happened in India. And so there are many such life scenarios which is actually transforming life of many people. You know, the founder Acharya of International Society, this ISKCON, actually he went to US when he was 69, 70 years old, and there he found that the people are really suffering. They are looking for something in life and they are not finding, and they are entering into drugs, they're entering into addictions, they're trying everything which can give them this happiness. And then they saw this 70-year-old sadhu is just sitting with some symbols in his hand and he's just happily chanting in a park. And they all try to join. Somebody is trying to dance, somebody is trying to play some instruments which they have, and they're feeling some kind of joy. And slowly with that joy, they started hearing about the message of the scriptures, and a lot of them got transformed from all the bad habits they had. So such things are possible, and this is just a glimpse which we can see in this world. But there is a whole different planet where all these things happen every day, where people have festivities every day, where there is no misery, where there is no disease, old age, what we saw in the previous classes, the 3 kleshas and the 4 kind of miseries. None of them exist there. And that is self-illuminated. It's there in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. He says, there's no need of any light there because it is self-illuminated. And there's no need of any moon to come and give a moonshine. Of course, there are many moons, but there is self-illuminated, and moons are only giving happiness. It is not required to give a shine. So and anybody who goes there, they don't come back because it's not required. It's eternal. There is no birth, death, old age, and disease. So that's a happy planet, and we'll get more introduction to that planet today in this class. So you can initially look it like a movie, because in movies we give our whole mind to that movie, because you may not have direct experience of it, but you see it and you take it. That's how you enjoy a movie. But of course, movie is fantasy. Here it's real. So initially it may look theoretical, but as per scriptures, it exists. And there are evidences that people have gone there, and we can also see how we can make ourselves eligible to reach that place. So let's go ahead in the discovery of that happy planet where every moment is a festival. So first, let's see what is the type of place where we are staying right now. So this material world is kind of miserable, but the spiritual world is blissful. And so we are today going to divide our class in these three main headings, that how this material world is full of misery and how the spiritual world is completely blissful. And the ABCD formula, something which we have seen in the introductory class, we may again revise that, and that formula is the key to make us eligible. It's the key towards the road to that spiritual world. So let's go ahead. How this material world is full of misery. One thing is, there is a temporary nature. Always understand, anybody which has temporary nature, if you expect it to be permanent, you will be in trouble. It will give you misery. Any temporary thing generally gives us misery, because temporary things have a birth, they have a aging, and they have a death. And anything which has these three things, it gives us some misery, because when it takes birth, we get attached to it, because we are emotional beings. Every human has emotions, and anything which come in contact with it, there is an exchange of emotions. With that exchange of emotions, there is an attraction. And when that thing leaves, that attraction breaks and we get misery. This is the most common cause of misery in this world. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 61 verse, where he says, Dhyayato Vishayan Punsa Sangasteshu Upajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Abhijayate. So he said, we develop attachment when we continue to think about something. Dhyayato Vishayan. Vishayan means sense objects. Unsa Sangasteshu Upajayate. So when we contemplate on that regularly, we develop a desire to get it. And Sangat Sanjayate Kama. So we develop a desire to associate, we develop a desire to get it. And Sangat Sanjayate Kamat Krodho Abhijayate. When there is any obstacle in that desire, we develop anger, and then greed, and etc. All other things follow. So that is the nature of this material world, because it's temporary, and we as a soul are eternal beings. So we are never happy with temporary things. That's why within temporary things, we start looking for something permanent, and that's where the problem goes. For example, let's see, in our youth, what are we trying? See, we are trying to allure somebody because we get attracted to that. The bodies of beauty queens who in their youth make men go crazy. What happens to that? This is what happens to them. They dried up in old age like grapes turned into raisins. They develop wrinkles. They don't look that good. So even the beauty which attracts us the most is temporary in this world. But that beauty is not temporary in spiritual world. That's eternal. So here, because we are eternal beings, anything temporary gives us misery. Because we are eternal, and we feel anywhere we attach should be eternal. So when we are eternal, and we have that desire that anywhere we get should be eternal, then we should look for getting attached to things which are eternal. So that is the only solution, and that's what we are going to see today. So see, we always have this question, why can't the beauty of this world remain permanent? See, we tend to forget the real permanent substance that is soul and give importance to the shadow which is body. So if we get attached to body, then we have problem with the body because body also keeps changing. If we get attached to our mind, please understand the mind also changes. If you get attached to thoughts, the thought also changes. If you get attached to your senses and the desires also keeps changing. So ultimately, all these things are making fool out of us because they keep changing. We think they stay permanent. I like this today. Tomorrow that also change. Something which you are very convinced today, tomorrow your mind get confused about it. So they all are making fool out of us. So what we should do is we should try to go towards the permanent things, and for that first and foremost is try to realize the eternal being, what who we are, and that's the soul. That's the permanent substance inside us. So story of a liquid beauty. Let's see this story.
I wish to narrate one short story that one man, one boy, was attracted by a beautiful girl. So the girl does not agree, and the boy is persistent. So in India, of course, the girls, they keep their chastity very strictly. So the girl was not agreeing, so she said, all right, I agree, after 1 week, you come. She appointed such and such time you come. So the boy was very glad. And the girl took some purgatory throughout the 7 days. And she was passing stool day and night and vomiting. And she kept all these vomits and stool in a nice pot. So when the appointed time came, the boy came and the girl was sitting on the door. The boy inquired, where is that girl? She said, I am that girl. No, you are not. You are so ugly. She was so beautiful. You are not that girl. No, I am that girl. But I have now separated my beauty in a different pot. What is that? She saw, this is the beauty, this stool and vomit. This is the ingredient. Actually, anyone may be very robust or very beautiful. If he passes stool for 3 or 4 times, everything changes.
Yes, this is a very wonderful story to actually explain this fact that whatever beauty we are externally attracted to, whether it's a person or whether it's a thing, whatever it is, especially when it's a person, that external beauty is actually this pus and stools inside, because that's what is there inside that. Now, whatever pack you give to anything, let's say you want to give some gift to somebody, you may give a very good packet outside which looks very attractive, but what actually matters is what is inside. So in this body, what is there inside? We eat. See, what kind of machinery is this body? I mean, it may look little awkward to you, but just think sometime, what kind of machinery in this body? You eat so many palatable nice food stuff, so many things, so many, your mothers or wives or all, whoever cooks at home, they put so much effort to cook such a delicious food stuff which goes inside and gives you so much satisfaction. But ultimately, this machine, this body, what it makes of that, it just become a nasty stools which comes out every day. Such a food stuff, this kind of machinery is this body. So what are we proud of, or what are we attracted to? Actually something which is so temporary that over the years it just completely wash off. Is this the aim of our life? what in generally in our youth we look forward for? Is it really the aim of our life? So that's what we have to think. Okay, are we attracted to something so temporary, which is like, see, lessons, fleeting beauty of the material world? Anything in this material life is actually behaving like this. So real beauty actually is in spiritual spark, which is there inside us. Everything else is temporary. So we should not get attracted madly to this temporary beauty and forget the goal of life. So mundane intellectuals, see, what do they tell? And aesthetics, what do they tell? How mundane intellectual and aesthetics, however, are deluded by the outward beauty and attraction of the relative truth, and are unaware of the spiritual spark, which is both truth and beauty at the same time. So see, material world versus spiritual world. If we try to keep a difference, what is the difference between this material world and the spiritual world? What all will come in? Let's see. So our material bodies belong to material world. Yes, that's why we say Pancha Mahabhut, earth, water, fire, air, ether. This is all made up of those five things. And what is material body is perishable. Everybody will agree that over the time it perishes. It is full of ignorance. Of course, if we are connected to some spiritual beings, or if we are connected to spiritual books, etc., then we can say it is not full of ignorance. But otherwise, yes. And it is pain producing. Yes, we all agree it's pain producing. But spiritual body is permanent. That's the soul, which is permanent. It is full of knowledge and bliss producing. So it's known as Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means permanent, eternal. Chit means full of knowledge. And Ananda means full of bliss. That's the nature of the spirit soul, because they belong to spiritual world. And that's why they got this property of being Satchidananda. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15 chapter 1st verse, Urdhmula madashakham ashwatham prahuravyayam chandansi yasya parnani yastam veda saveda ved. So what all scriptures, what all Vedas are telling? So there is the spiritual word and material word are the material word is compared with a banyan tree, the whole word, the whole creation, but not the real banyan tree, the upside down banyan tree which you can see now. Okay, so material word is compared to an upside down banyan tree, and spiritual word is compared to a real banyan tree. So the material word, it says Urdhva Moolam Adaha Shakham. Shakham is roots. No, sorry, Shakham are branches and Moolam are roots. Moola, that's the root. It says Urdhva Moolam. Moolam, that means roots are up and branches are down. That's a Ashwatha tree. So spiritual word is like the tree on the bank of a river. And there is a reflection, which is the material word. So that's the example which Bhagavad Gita gives about spiritual word and material word. Because if you see the real tree, it's eternal. And eternal means you can touch it, you can feel it. But here, you try to go behind happiness, it just stays, or it just feels like happiness for some time, again it turns into distress. So it's like a reflection. For example, you can see a tree inside the water, but you enter the water to search for the tree, you may not find it. So that's the reality of this word as per Bhagavad Gita. So our material body is a bad copy of the spiritual body. For example, if there is a real marble and there is a fake marble may initially look good, but fake is fake. So we may externally may look good for some time, but fake is fake. What is actually good is the real soul inside, which actually gives us the intelligence, which actually gives us the values. That is actually the beauty, what is there inside us. The external body is like a fake marble. Similarly, how the real currency and fake currency is, how the real mangoes and fake mangoes. Whatever you do with the fake mangoes, they'll never give you taste. What is actually the feature of a mango? And spiritual beauty versus material beauty. It says Krishna is ever youthful. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So it is told in Brahma Samhita that he is the Adi, he is the cause of all causes. And he said Nava Yovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabha Madurbala Durlabha Atma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So it is told that he is always youthful, ever existing, ever beautiful, and all the associate which stays in the spiritual world along with the Lord have the same property. They also are ever youthful. They also are eternal. They also are full of bliss. And that bliss is also eternal. It does not come down at all. So material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world, where the spiritual world is blissful. It is told that in spiritual world you have oceans of milk, Kshira Sagara. You have oceans of juices. You have oceans. You have ocean of milk, juices, curds, whatever we like. And then there are desire trees. You ask something, they'll give you. There are Kamdhenu cows. You ask them something, they give you. And everything is every day increasing, ever increasing. There is no time factor where the thing will reduce over the time. No. So that is a kind of description of spiritual world which comes in our scriptures, and it actually matches our own nature. Otherwise, nobody has actually taught us that you have to exchange love with each other. But we feel happy when that happens. And nobody has learned, but everybody has this feeling inside from the time of birth that they all try to keep things and like things to go and stay eternally. They don't want things to perish generally. Like for example, if you have mobile, we keep a back cover, we keep a screen guard, etc., because we want it to last longer. So we have that feeling that things should last eternally. We have a good friend, we don't want to partake from them, and that's where we feel bad when the people go off or when we have to separate. So we have that tendency to that things should last longer. That is because that's the nature. As a soul, we have that nature to exchange love, and we have that nature of eternality. That thing is always there in the spiritual world. So that's why it's blissful. So soul originally actually belongs to that spiritual world, where every word is a song. If you actually see, whenever you are very happy or whenever people are very happy, they tell things in a very melodic way. We don't see it right now so often, but in earlier times it was very much seen. That's why there were poets. Whenever they are happy, they used to write poetries. Even the kings used to write poetry when they were. So every word looks like a song, and every walk is a dance. This we will see now. Whenever people are happy, they actually run and walk. They actually dance and walk because they want to express that happiness. You cannot keep it inside. Happiness, generally, people like to express it. And this is ever existing in spiritual world, where water is like nectar, such a good taste, and all living beings are pure. There is no cheating there. You can close your eyes and believe on people. There is no discrimination, no jealousy, no ego which disturbs us. That is what is spiritual world. And most important, there is no old age, death, or disease. That's why it's eternal, ever existing. So that is our eternal home actually. That's why whenever, at least when I am talking and hearing about this, or when I heard this, that feeling comes inside that actually we belong to this place and we like to go there, because that is automatic feeling is there, because that spontaneous attraction towards such thing is coming with, that's our actual nature. So where we get unlimited and unending happiness. Thus the goal of our life should be to return back home, back to Godhead, which is that place. That should be the goal of life. So why does the soul actually leave that place and come to this material world? That should be the next question. That is our place. What had actually happened that we ended up coming into this material world, which is actually so foreign to all of us. So the problem is the material world is compared to a prison house. It's a very special prison house, but it is compared to a prison house. Let's see how. So what all happens in a prison? Can you guess why the material world is compared to a prison house? Let's see. Fill up the blank with appropriate word. Now, please get ready with your to type in the chat box. If we say that this material world is a prison house, let's say what? So what all are there in a prison house? So there is a jail or a prison. So how this material world is considered with the prison? So one example is given, like jail keeper. Here we have Maya Devi. Maya Devi actually keeps us under control. Yes, so we are not able to do everything as I like, because there are laws. So jail are like expectations. Good, Chetan. Okay, what else? So jail is actually this material world. So this nature, actually, if we compare this nature as our jail, jail keeper is Maya Devi. Maya Devi, this Chetan was telling Maya Devi, give us expectations. Yes, expectations keep us always entangled in this place. Good. What do you think is the food? So in jail you get food. What material word? What is the food in this word? What we get as a food? Then what nature gives us? Of course, this is not very difficult to find out. So you can tell me the answers. So what all is a part of the food? The food is actually the grains. What like fruits, vegetables, and grains. So that is the food from the material world. Now medicine. So in a jail you have medicine. So in this material world, what do we have? We have herbs. We have checked shirt as a dress. And similarly, in this material world, we have this body. This is a dress given to us as a soul. Now, in the material, in a jail, you have whips to remind you that you have done a mistake. But what kind of miseries we get here? Lamentation, illusion, egoistic behavior, cheating, hunger, thirst. They're all whips of this material world. And what is the release? That's liberation, going back home, back to spiritual world, and stay in a state. That means outside jail means staying in spiritual world. And laws of state are laws of God. And who is the prime minister of state? Is God. Okay. So why does the soul leave the spiritual world and come to this material world? Again, the question comes in. Now, anybody has any guesses to this question? Why a soul leave the spiritual world and come to this material world? I'll just wait for half a minute for your responses on this. Have you ever thought of this? Why we have to face miseries? To fulfill desire. Oh, Chetan, this is a good answer actually. I didn't expect, but yes, I'm very happy that you gave this answer. Anyone has any other thoughts on this? Why did we come here? Because, okay, Chetan by karma. Okay, good. So because of our karma, we have to come to this material world. Good. Any other answers? Any other thoughts on this? Why we have to come back to this material world and face all these things what we face here? Yes. So we had two good answers. One, to fulfill our desires. Actually, we have desires. See, desire is a common thing for any soul. Soul means it will desire something. But the problem is we desired something which is against the laws of that place. That is where we have to come. It's like if you want to think something like that, you can just think why somebody is put into jail. Somebody maybe is staying here is happily. Why somebody is put into jail? So they do something which is against the law of this place, and that's why they put into jail. So similarly, we have done something which is against the law of the spiritual world. So as you mentioned, desire, yes, the answer is correct, but just desiring something does not put us in material. Desiring something which is against the law of Lord, that is what put us into material world. And karma, again, when we act in that direction, come here. So let's see. A boy may adamantly want a car. Thus, a father gives him a pedaling car to satisfy. Because see, father understand if I give him a bigger car, he may like to take a car, but he will not be able to take care of it. And that's not the main problem. The main problem is he will get harmed by that car, and father cannot bear it. Father cannot bear that he get harmed by that car. So father will not do anything which actually is not good for the child. But the problem is the boy may adamantly want something. So then father say, okay, you want something, I'll give you something in limits. But I always want to have an eye on you. Otherwise, you will get harmed. So similarly, the Father, the Lord, give us as a soul. We wanted to enjoy. We wanted to be controllers because as a soul, some of the soul in spiritual world like to serve the Lord, but some of them while serving, they think why we have to serve? Why we have to keep serving? Why can't we be masters? Can there be a place where other than Lord, somebody else like us can be a master? And that's where Lord sent us. Okay, this material world is a kind of spiritual world, a replica. You go there, take the position of a so-called master and see. So soul comes to material world and try to imitate God for a while till he realizes that his position as servant of God. So we try to become enjoyer. That's what when we are in childhood days, we were thinking why we have to adhere to our parents, why we have to do everything as per them. When will that time come when I go out, when I go into college, I'll have freedom to do things, to choose things. And then you go out and then you enter into life, and then there's family life and responsibilities, and then at the end you think, "Bacche achhe the." Because there you realize that it is better to be under somebody than try to be the head. Similarly, if we are professionals, we tend to get promotion and we feel when I become the head, that is good. But when you become the head, you realize there is so much responsibility now that employee is actually happy because there is no responsibility, just some pressure, okay. But the head, he has so much responsibility of so many things. So actually, we are all happy. We can all be better situated if we understand our position as servant of God. So for example, what gives happiness to fish which is out of water? Luxuries and comfort. Whatever you give, fish will not be happy because it needs one basic thing, which is water. No matter anything else comes, the fish needs water. And as soon as you place the fish inside the water, fish will be happy. So similarly, the soul can only be happy in spiritual world because that is actually the place which matches our eternal nature. not in material world, because that's why material world gives us anxiety, even though it looks luxury. So we are actually like a lost son of a billionaire father. Let's see one story to understand this point.
A man had two sons. The younger son told his father,
"Father, I want my share of your estate now, before you die."
So his father agreed to divide his wealth between his sons. A few days later, this younger son packed all his belongings and moved to a distant land. And there he wasted all his money in wild living. About the time his money ran out, a great famine swept over the land and he began to starve. He persuaded a local farmer to hire him, and the man sent him into his fields to feed the pigs. The young man became so hungry that even the pods he was feeding the pigs looked good to him, but no one gave him anything. When he finally came to his senses, he said to himself, "At home, even the hired servants have food enough to spare, and here I am dying of hunger." He wasted everything his father gave him. While he had the job of feeding the pigs, the young man became so hungry that even the pods he was feeding the pigs looked good to him. But no one gave him anything. Finally, he came to his senses and said,
"My father's workers have plenty to eat, and here I am starving to death. I will go to my father and say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against God in heaven and against you. I am no longer good enough to be called your son. Treat me like one of your workers.'"
But when he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt sorry for him. He ran to his son. And he hugged and kissed him.
Hurry and bring the best clothes and put them on him. give him a ring for his finger and sandals for his feet. This son of mine was dead, but has now come back to life. He was lost and has now been found.
And they began to celebrate.
Yeah, so this is a very touching story, but actually that's what happens. We are like the lost son of a billionaire, because the Lord is the master of everything. He is he possesses everything. Whatever comes to us is through him. And we wanted to just to become master, or just with some different thought process, we chose to come to this world which is completely against the nature what we have. And that is what is the biggest problem and the cause of the suffering what we suffer in this material world. And this is not I am telling, this is what the scriptures are telling. And this is the knowledge which is being given to everybody, and people who are really intelligent are taking this knowledge and making their life successful by taking the right journey or making the right choice. So we have to also do the same. We have to revive our relationship with the eternal Father, the God, to become truly happy. So for example, if I want a tree to grow, where should I put the water? In the roots. Similarly, if a body needs to be grown, the water has to be put in, the food has to go to stomach from the mouth. So similarly, if we have to be good or we have to be happy, all the souls who are part and parcels of the Lord can be happy only by serving the whole, that is the Lord. For example, there is a story where there were some organs who actually went on a strike. He said, hands say, I do so much work. Legs are telling, I do so much work. I walk all the day to get this person some food. And hands are telling, I work so much to get this person some money. And all the food goes to stomach. So we all go for strike. We will not work from today, so that no food will go to stomach. And the strike came. But what happened over the time? Because there was no food going into stomach, no other organs are getting nourished. And over the time, hands started becoming weak, legs started becoming weak. All other organs started becoming weak. And then they realized that our strength is from that stomach. That stomach is actually doing all the thing to give us that strength, and we are actually assisting. So all of us should work together, and that is the only way we all can be nourished. So similarly, we are part and parcels of the Lord. If we serve the Lord, we as who is a whole, then we as a part and parcel also will get nourished. So the spirit soul in spiritual world derive great joy in loving service of the Lord. We have a very good example of Hanuman. You would have heard in Ramayana how Hanuman was an eternal servant. He was always happy in serving the Lord, and today we are actually worshipping and glorifying Hanuman because of his service to the Lord. And he never accepted the glory for himself. He always accepted the glory in serving the Lord. And he was so pleased. He was so pleasing to the Lord that Lord was so happy in association with Hanuman. And Lord wanted to give Hanuman the credit of all the things what he has done. So it's a two-way process. We serve the Lord eternally, and Lord also wants to give back the credit to us. So he went and brought Sanjeevani when the Lord Ram and Lakshman were in trouble, and he one time Mother Sita was putting sindoor, and Hanuman saw, and he said, "What are you doing, Mother?" The mother said, "I'm putting sindoor." "But why are you putting sindoor?" So Mother said, "He's a monkey. What will he understand?" So Mother Sita said, "Because Lord Ram likes it. That's why I put sindoor." And as soon as Hanuman heard this, he went to a vendor and got so much sindoor and he put on all his body. And then he went to in front of Lord Ram. When Lord Ram saw Hanuman in a full reddish, he asked, "Hey, what happened to you?" Then Hanuman narrated, "I saw Sita Maya doing this, and then I thought I also want to please you. If she used little bit of sindoor and you are pleased, let me put the sindoor on my whole body and you will be very much pleased." And when Lord Ram heard, he was very happy, he was laughing, and at the same time he was uh, on the innocence of Hanuman, he was also feeling very happy and lovable towards his servant. So that's our eternal nature actually. We can please the Lord and we can ourselves be blissful by taking that real position of a servant like Hanuman has done. The soul is not a competitor of God. Please understand, the soul is cooperator. So we are dependent servants of God, not independent masters, and we can be happy by doing this. Anything else you can try, somebody would have experience and somebody can get experience by trying, but this is all coming from scriptures that if we work as servants of God, everybody will be happy, because that's the nature. That's why a soul is being created. This a soul has been created by Lord to exchange love, and that love can be exchanged in a servitorship manner, not in the mastery manner. So the soul can be happy only by rendering loving devotional service to Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. And minded, the Lord also render service to his devotees. We see Arjuna, Lord was taking the role of a chariot driver. You can understand, chariot driver is a very low role in front of the master or a king. Lord is the father of the universe, but when it comes to love, Lord can also come under that love and take the position of a chariot driver. And please remember, in a fight, when a fight is happening, uh, nobody has time to tell the driver do like this and do like that, because there's so much sound around. So the charioteer actually has to use his legs. If he kicks the driver on the right side, that means the chariot has to be taken to right direction. And if it kicks the driver on the left, that means Rath has to go to left. So Arjuna was actually kicking the Lord on either direction. And that is the position Lord took to as a part of friendship to his friend, or as a part of love to his devotee. So Lord is also ready to serve us, but we have to first serve him and show our service and surrender to him. And that is what is devotional service. But in this material world, where a soul chases after mirage of material pleasure and gets cheated, there we can never get happiness. So now the last part. So what is the formula? Now we have spoken about material world, we have spoken about spiritual world, but what is the way to reach that spiritual world? So let's see that now. Let us start with this ABCDE formula. Okay, and now I want you to please type back and let's revise what was this ABCDE, what we have seen in our introductory classes. So what is A? Anybody remembers what is this A? Now this is the formula now for us to go back to that spiritual world, and now we all will be ready to take this message, start practicing it, and open our way towards that spiritual world, to get the ticket to that spiritual world and start our journey towards the eternal happiness. So let's start. What is this A? Who will like to answer? Yes? Anybody would like to answer? What is this ABCD ka A?
Answer ABCD ka A.
Come on, come on. I know some of you will be knowing. Let's association. Very good, Prajesh. Okay. So A is association. Okay. So by learning to align with God and nature as taught in the Vedic scriptures, one can have a healthy heart and return back to spiritual world, which is our original home where eternal society, friendship and love can be experienced. This is what is taught to us in different scriptures. So how do we align to God and nature? That is where this formula comes in. Association. Yes. Thank you. What is B? Yes, what's B? This is actually ABCD of life. Books. Yes. I want others also to answer. Shriya, books. Very good. What is C? What happened? Panchdeep, Dhananjay, who all are there today with us? Harivardhan? No. Okay. Chetan, Arun, Tanish. Just give a try. Sinchan. Just give a try. Okay. Chanting, concentration. Okay, yes. Similar. What is D? Good, Panchdeep. What is D? Something. What is D? Sorrow. Very good. Diet. And okay, meditation with D. C, chanting meditation. D is diet. What is E? E may be a little difficult. Let's see who will answer E. Environment. Okay, environment. Yes. And one more thing we saw other than environment, one more thing we saw in E. What is that? Yes, come on. You have answered most of the things correctly. Now it's just last thing, E. Environment. Yes, environment is there. And exercise. Okay. One more thing was there in E. Who would like to answer? Okay, let's see. Engagement, service. Okay, so let's go a little bit of detail. Association. See, association is very important. If you have good association, it will take you up. Bad association will take you down. You know, there's a GIGO principle in management. Good in, good out. Garbage in, garbage out. So you say, if you want to know a character of a person, just look at his friends. That will tell you how the person is. Because whatever good or bad you are, ultimately you will become how your association is. That much effect is there. There's a story of two parrots. There was one sadhu who was walking and he saw one parrot outside a butcher's shop. And he was just telling, kill him, cut him, kill him, cut him. And then he just heard and that sadhu went off walking, and then he saw a similar parrot outside a king's palace. And the parrot is telling, please come, have a seat. Let me give you water. King will just come. Please sit. Let me give you water. Something like that. Very cordial words. So when this sage sadhu saw, it's like these two parrots look very same, but they both are very different in their character. So immediately this parrot inside the king's palace, he saw, please don't judge us on what we are talking, because that other parrot which you saw is also my friend, but we were my brother. but we were taken by two different people. And this is not about what we are talking, how we are. No, as a person, we both are same, but it's the association which made us like this. And see, if a calf makes friend with another calf, he'll drink milk. But if he make friend with a pig, it will eat stools. So what we are or what we become is what we associate with. We associate with saintly people, you associate with positive people, you associate with like-minded and people who are spiritual, then you get that kind of mindset. And if you associate with people who are wasting their life and addicted, then it's just a matter of time, we just become like that. So second, we saw our books. So just as there are authorized universities, teachers and books in spiritual circle, also we have authorized books coming into Parampara. Bhagavad Gita is a song of God, the divine message of Lord Krishna to all of us. It's a God's manual to humans to awaken loving remembrance of Lord and safely return back to Godhead. See, such kind of messages, these are given by very prominent people. Even the president of our country actually accepted and given this message like this. So there are many successful people who are actually considering Bhagavad Gita as the life manual for them. People, even the earlier scientists like Newton, they were reading. Stephen Hawking referred this, and even contemporary world, even the head of the Apple, even the Beatles, George Harrison, people like them have actually made Bhagavad Gita and continue to refer. We saw this in previous slides also. Tulsi Gabbard, one of the congressmen in US government, she also tells Bhagavad Gita as one of the most important book in her life. So many people are like this. So while books in Parampara repeat word of God and take us back to Godhead, man-made books will emerge from speculative brain, will mislead us. So we should choose the right book to read regularly and attain the ultimate perfection of life. Next thing is C, or chanting. So chanting on japa beads, counting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a proven method for giving peace of mind, satisfaction, and happiness. We saw one full session on chanting, and some of you are connecting every day evening in that chanting session. Very good. So this chanting is a very powerful method, not only today, but from time immemorial. We have seen Dhruva chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Valmiki chanted Mara Mara, but that became Ram and he was delivered. He became the sage Valmiki from a dacoit Valmiki or Ratnakara. And Mrigari the hunter, there is a story of Mrigari who was also a hunter, and he was killing animals half, and he used to feel pleasure by hearing their agony when their half died. So once Narad Muni was passing by and he saw half died animals, and he went to Mrigari and said, he was thinking, who has killed? And he went to this hunter. He said, why are you killing them half? At least kill them fully so that they are not in agony. But Mrigari was so hard-hearted that he was actually killing them half and feeling good. So Narad Muni actually then gave him a mantra and he said, don't do anything, just chant this mantra. And Narad Muni came after a few years and he saw that Mrigari was feeling very happy by killing the animals half and hearing their hue and cry. The same Mrigari is now preventing himself to step on even on an ant. Such a transformation of the heart. Same thing, Valmiki, who was actually killing the people and taking their money, and Narad Muni gave him this mantra, Mara Mara, because he was so sinful that he was not even able to chant Ram. So Narad Muni said, okay, chant Mara 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 Mara, it will become Ram, and over the time he became so transformed that he became the sage Valmiki. And when Prabhupada, as I was telling, when he went to West, they were all so addicted, but later by chanting and hearing that mantra, they became so pure that they left all those addictions and started following the life of a sage, most of them. but at least even if not sage, they started leading a pure life free from addictions. So all of them attained boundless happiness by this practice. Sound is the subtlest element, which has the ability to reach the subtle element, which is mind. Modern day media bombard and makes the mind miserable, but pure spiritual sound of Hare Krishna Mahamantra purifies the mind of all impurities. Yannam ashruti matrena puman bhavati nirmalaha. So nirmala means free of miseries, free of addictions, very pure. And then the fourth component, which is diet. See, when we eat anything, it produces three parts. What are the three parts? First thing, that food turns into blood and distributed to the whole body from the heart. Second, it turns into stool and urine and flushed out from the system. Or it can go to brain, producing a consciousness depending on the type of food. So whatever type of food we eat, that is the type of consciousness we get. You eat sattvic food, which is freshly cooked, which is having equal or optimal amount of optimal amount of masalas and ingredients, it will be happy. You will feel good and your consciousness will be in goodness. But if you eat rajas or tamas, which is very pungent, old, cooked a few days back, and then you are eating packed or very spicy, etc., then we become like that. So diet has a very strong impact on the type of consciousness as well as our health and lifestyle. So spiritual food is called prasadam, which is actually considered as sinless, sanctified sattvic food because it is offered to Lord. Okay, so it purifies our consciousness, creates a favorable situation for absorbing good knowledge, good skills, good things in life. So prasadam is Lord's grace on us, and it helps us to control our mind and senses and advance in bhakti, that is our surrender to the Lord, which is one of the most important pathway towards that eternal spiritual world. And fifth is engagement or service, because that we saw as the cardinal nature of a soul is to serve, and because we are eternal, let's serve the eternal. So that's what is the engagement or seva. Arjuna was a warrior. He fought for Krishna. A squirrel assisted in building the bridge to Lanka and attracted Lord Ram's grace. So when the story when a bridge was being built between Lanka and India, there was a squirrel who was helping by bringing small pebbles, and Hanuman was bringing big stones and boulders. So Hanuman saw a squirrel and he said, "Arey, what can you do? We have to build a big bridge, and we are bringing big boulders. What these small stones can do?" But then Lord Ram took the squirrel and told Hanuman, "You are serving as per your capacity. Squirrel is serving as per her capacity. So his service and your service, I will consider as same." So everyone is talented in some field by Lord's grace. Let us engage that service in Lord's pleasure like Arjuna and squirrel did. So fruit vendor, we have this another example. Lady lovingly gave all her fruits to Krishna. Of course, she knew that Krishna cannot bring lot of grains out. Earlier times it was barter system. You give fruits and take some grains or some modes or some things, not money always. So when this fruit vendor lady came, Krishna asked for fruit. But he said, "But what will you give me back? I will give you grains." "Okay, bring the grains." Krishna tried. He was a very small boy. Krishna tried to bring grains, but most of the grains fell on the way and only few grains reached. But the fruit vendor lady still said, okay, she saw the child and since she gave, okay, take all the fruits, give me this little bit grains, I'm okay. And as soon as that lady took the grains out, he saw that grains turned into jewels. So that fruit vendor lady actually served Lord in whatever capacity she has. So same thing we have to do. We don't have to become big sage. whatever work we do, we should try that we can offer it and do it for serving the Lord in some or the other form. And our spiritual leaders or mentors can help you to guide in what way we can serve the Lord in whatever capacity we have. So that's what is engagement. So student can study for Krishna and get good marks. A computer specialist can make posters and softwares for these programs. And some of you are actually doing it. I'm thankful to all of you who are actually using your talents in making others get this knowledge. So singer can sing songs for the Lord. A cook can cook nice prasadam. A decorator can decorate the temple hall. So in so many ways, we can please the Lord and attain his mercy. So there was a poem, this will post in the group for all of you. And so we have reached the end of the program. And now the floor is open for questions. So if anyone of you have any doubts or anything to clarify, then you are most welcome to do that. So we have reached the last part of it, and before we close, we have an important announcement. Tomorrow is going to be the last session, and it is going to be a very interesting one because all of us have a question, and one of you have asked me in the starting, who is God? Which God should we worship? And then we have a question that if God is one, then why there are so many religions? How should we understand this? And that's what we are going to discuss tomorrow, but there is a speciality. Tomorrow's class, we are trying to have a physical class, which is going to happen in the temple. We'll share the address and location as well. Whoever is in Mangalore, we request you to please come down. There's a delicious prasad waiting for you. The diet what we saw, the sanctified food, the sattvic food, it is waiting for you tomorrow. And you can attend the Arati, you can associate, you can start your journey of ABCDE directly from tomorrow by coming there. So we are waiting for you. We extend a warm welcome to all of you to come to temple tomorrow, and we can meet you. Of course, I am eager to meet all of you because we are meeting in a virtual manner for so many weeks, and now it's a time that we can meet together and interact with each other directly, and at the same time start our journey of ABCDE at one shot. So tomorrow's session is going to be in temple, and you are very much welcome to reach there around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and we can have a arati, dancing, as well as the class, 1 hour class, 1 hour 15 minutes, and then we can honor a delicious lunch prasadam there. So I invite all of you, and whoever is not joined, if you are in touch with them, please deliver this message to them, and we are all waiting to welcome you tomorrow. So anyone has any questions or comments, you are most welcome to do that, and we can close for today. Thank you. And yeah, there is a quiz from today's session. The link has been posted by Prajesh in the group. It will be posted in the group as well. So you can please take that quiz, and that will help you to strengthen the knowledge what you have got today. So thank you very much. See you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you so much for joining for today's session. Please answer the quiz. The form has been